All right. Hello,
Hi.
everybody. So, welcome back to Women's to Watch episode. And today is the last episode, and I am so happy to have Dhaniah here. And she'll be talking about music, songwriting. And if you have any questions about music, about songwriting, feel free to drop them inside the live chat below, and I will show the questions to Dhaniah, and she'll be happy to answer you. Hello, Dania.
Hi.
All right. Okay. So maybe just a little bit of introduction about yourself. How do you venture into music?
How did I venture into
Yeah.
music? I think I was born into a family that was very musical. So from the start, you know, when I was very, very young, like 3 or 4,
Wow.
I still have memories of I still have memories of like singing along, like my mom also singing along to songs on the radio, and my dad would play the piano at home, and then he'll be like, come and sing, I play the piano, that kind of thing. And then
Yeah.
he'll even teach me. So my dad, he plays multiple instruments, and my mom sang. My
Mm-hmm.
dad, he could play the drums, he played the trumpet,
Mm.
he could play the violin, play the guitar. I don't know if I'm missing out something, but
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, so and I was like talking to Renee earlier. So my parents actually joined like talent time before together. They didn't get to the finals or anything, but my dad played the guitar and my mom sang.
So
uh
sweet.
yeah. Yeah, in my extended family as well, my mom's side especially, actually
Mm.
my dad's side also, like my uncle, played like professionally for a while. My grandfather also, my father's dad, he was a violinist. So he used to play for like all those like 60s celebrities stuff for a while. My mom's side, my cousins
Mm.
my cousins and some of my uncles, they all play instruments. So actually one of my bandmates is my cousin
Oh,
from my
okay.
mom's side. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Talking about bandmates, right? Maybe you can just talk a little bit about your band that you founded a few years ago, or how many 12 years ago or something.
Well, firstly, I didn't found the band.
Okay.
We founded it together by accident.
Oh,
I was
okay.
17. I'm gonna reveal my age now.
It's okay. Don't have to review. Just 17 when you're 17. That's all.
17. Fine, however, age is just a number. 33 minus 17. So however long that was ago, I was in poly. Um, and my secondary school mate, who's my very, very, like one of my very best friends in secondary school. And she, we also joined a talent time in school before. Anyway, that's another side story. She joined a different poly from me.
Mm.
And then she was like, "Oh, I have some friends who want to jam and we need a vocalist. Can you come and jam with us?" So I was the only one from a different poly, and I just joined them.
Yeah.
And during that jamming session, we wrote a song together,
Mm.
and we're like, "Oh, maybe this can go somewhere." So yeah, so then we were like, "Okay, let's continue lah." And then we just continued writing songs together and jamming. I think it
So
was
it's,
like
it's like
ten
it's like
dollars a month.
it's like by accident kind of band formation or something.
Yeah. Even the
Mm.
name, we didn't think about the name, okay? Like it's my rights, and that name actually came from, I was already writing, like I like to write fan fiction, so I had a website called My
Oh.
Rights.
Oh.
So they were like, "Oh, why don't we call it My Rights?" I was like, "Oh, okay lor." Who knew it would stick like for so many years?
But I mean, like, it lasted for very long. I mean, you did actually told me that you went for, I mean, you did gigs and you went for, like, Malaysia performing. Maybe you can just tell a little bit about that journey of yours.
Where do I begin? Okay, so I think it was because we wrote Love in the 60s. I would
Oh,
say
okay.
that when we shifted from like this like budak tai, how do I say that? Band playing in a jamming studio and
Newbie lah,
started
newbies.
yes, a nicer way to put it. um, because we just recorded on this like really dinky. Okay, it was my cousin's house. We
Okay.
were like the bassist wrote this bass line, and then it was like groovy. So I was like, oh, this sounds like it can be like a 60s groove kind of song. So
Mm.
started writing it. And then my cousin's house had this really old keyboard. It was like pew, 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 that kind of like tiny, tiny thing. And then we
Ah.
were like, this is so funny. We should use it in the song. So we recorded it like this really funny, like parody, what we thought was a parody of a 60s song. And at the time I like to build websites as well. So I built a whole like website for the band, and I just put up that clip. Next thing
Wow.
I know, we got an email from Isman of Fruit Records. So Fruit Records was the band that Serenade was under, which is
Mm.
like this big indie band that we really liked at the time. So anyway, so he was like, "Oh, I'm putting together a compilation album. I think your song can be in the album." We're like, ah, really? Then, so but we had to re-record that song so it was like more professional quality, and then we ended up on this compilation album, like a random band from the internet, like made up of like 17, 18-year-olds. Then from there we started playing at all these gigs lah, because I think
Mm.
I can't remember. I think there was a showcase for the band for the album as well. And then from there, like people heard us and they're like, "Oh, we like your stuff. Like, can you play at other gigs?" So it was very organic. So we we were playing at a lot of like underground indie gigs in Singapore.
Mm.
At one point, I think we were playing like two a month at least. Um,
Wow.
yeah, but we loved it. We were jamming every week anyway.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, no, then we got to do this and that. Then we all started working. The guys went into NS at some point. We just kept it up, and we eventually got invited to play at Bay Beats. I can't remember what year that was now, but
Wow, baby, that's really something. I mean, like for
yeah,
I feel that when a band gets into baby, it's something. Basically, that band is something. Yeah, I mean, at that point of time, yeah.
yes.
I mean, now babies don't. I mean, there's no babies now anymore, right?
And also, I think the newer version of Babies is very different. It's very competition based and all that.
Right.
At the
Mm.
time, they would just like, I mean, you audition as well, but you also got invited.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if they like your stuff, so we actually got
Mm.
invited.
Hey. Yeah,
uh,
at that point of time, I remember when I was younger, gigs was all at substation and all that. Yeah,
yes.
Fort Canning. We have all
Mhm.
like lots of fun listening to music over there. But yeah, substation.
I'm so sad.
Extinct.
All these
Yeah, I
venues
know, right?
are.
It's extinct now. Yeah, there's
What
no.
are you doing in Singapore art scene? What, you know? You want people to homegrown your talent. You cannot shut down these kind of venues. I don't know who's listening, but I'm just
Yeah, so that means your music is more on the indie scene, I would say, right?
yeah, we kind of fell into it lah.
Oh,
We
okay.
fell into indie, I think, because of Love in the 60s, and then we just got typecasted the
Continue.
rest of it. But I think also because of my voice is
Ah,
indie-ish, perhaps. So even though the band, we had influences like punk, like metal, like hard rock, like
yeah.
uh, and I think the most distinct sound is actually the BB King jazzy type of sound that we have as well. So it's a mishmash, but
Mm,
yeah, somehow we got into indie.
nice. All right. So that is the music part. I mean, like, how do you first got into music? And of course, your family, you're born in the music industry. Like your
Musical family.
musical family. Yeah. So, I mean, other than that, who actually inspires you to make music? I mean, yeah, you are born in a musical family, but do you have like anyone who actually inspires you to make music?
I think everyone. I
Mm.
think um, like I said, my family, I had family gatherings where, my uncle would suddenly just go to the piano and start playing, and then everybody would stand around and would sing along and things like that. And even my siblings, my sisters, we
Mm.
all have some amount of musical talent. Like my we played covers for fun after like my band sort of went this sort of disbanded. So I have a sister who plays the drums. Um,
Wow.
who I asked my previous drummer to teach her at the time, so she actually got really good training. Uh, I have a sister two of my sisters play guitar,
Mm.
and one of them that plays guitar also sings. So yeah, when we get together, we do it for fun lah.
That's
Um,
nice.
I think the other, yeah,
When you have like any gathering, family gathering, there will always be a jam session, I believe.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I think the other thing that inspires me to make music is also that I'm very emo. It's like if I'm so sad or if I'm so angry, like it has to come out somewhere. So it usually comes out in writing or in just like singing covers. Mm, yeah.
Nice. But do you have like some other person outside your family that actually inspires you to also make music? Do you have like any inspiration out there that you know or something?
Not really. I don't think I've ever mm, really thought like, okay, I want to sound like a particular
Mm,
artist or whatever. I just think whatever kind of music that you make, if you are speaking from your own story and your own truth, people can connect to that. It doesn't
true.
matter what genre.
True, true, true. So have you tried other genre other than indie?
I think I would really like to get into electronic stuff actually.
Oh.
Like I really love Billie Eilish right now. And Phineas,
Okay, yeah,
she's
it's
so
nice.
lucky to have a brother like Phineas who can put together and produce stuff like that. It's amazing.
Wait,
I've been trying
you have your sisters, right?
but none of us can do, the whole like loops stuff, between sampling
Ah,
and
I
figuring it out.
see.
Mm.
Okay, let's get into songwriting. So, what is your creative process for songwriting? How do you get inspiration? How do you even how do you even write a song? I'm tone deaf, so.
Um, I guess okay. Like I was saying there's like you are born with a certain nature,
Yeah. Mm.
and then it's like how much can you bring it up? Like less, but you can bring it up a bit. But I was just I guess for me, I think it's nature lah. Um, as as far as I can remember, I've always been writing out my feelings, my thoughts, and I was telling Renee earlier so that the first song that I ever wrote was with one of my best friends in primary school. And it was just like I think it was kind of Spice Girls inspired. It totally sounded like Spice Girls, but we were just sitting next to each other, and then I was just writing stuff, and then we just decided to like, hey, let's write a song together. So we just came up with the whole like verse and the melody. Um, so yeah, that's like a happy song. I think as I got older, it became like a stress relief thing. So I'll end up writing more like emo songs. So when I'm feeling like an overwhelming emotion that it needs to spill out somewhere, it will spill out on a page.
Mm.
When I play the guitar. Uh, but what I really loved about writing in a band is that it really takes that raw material and it elevates it so much more, because you have the guitarist come in or the drummer come in with a beat that's like, ooh, I didn't think the
Mm.
song would sound like this, and then everybody just gets inspired, and then it totally changes. So I think for songwriting, it's really important to have people you can bounce off of.
Right. But does it come like instantly whenever you hear a beat or whenever you see like a word or something? Do you have like creative block sometimes?
Sometimes it's just words that come to me. Oh yeah, I've
Mm.
always said the creative block thing is like forever, man. It's more creative block than writing. uh, but so that's why when a thought or a melody comes to you, like I
Mm.
quickly try and record it or I'll write it down. So in my dry
Right.
spells, I can flip the page or like just listen back to what I recorded and then just trigger it from there.
Mm.
Yeah. That's why I
Is
feel
it?
sometimes it's like it's not even you that's writing, it's like you're just catching something in the air.
Mm.
It's like was somebody thinking this earlier and I walk into this space and then suddenly my brain is like, ooh, what's this idea? You know? Or you wake up in the morning and you had a dream and then that dream is stuck in your head. I had dream in music sometimes. Like I'll dream a whole song. So if I
Wow.
dream it and I don't write it down, I'll forget it, which I usually don't because I'm a lazy bum nowadays. Like, I'm so unfocused. I mean, I'm so like distant from my songwriting now that
Mm.
when those ideas come to me, I don't immediately write it down anymore, which I really should. Yeah, one of the songs that we wrote for the band actually came from a dream that I had. Yeah,
Wow. I mean, like, okay, that's like another level
yeah, that's why I
from
feel
a
like
from a dream, and then you like quickly put it on paper, and then I mean, after that you find the tune from there, or
oh
you
no, like I said,
already have everything all in the dream.
I dream in melody. So like I'll wake up humming or whatever.
Wow.
And then if
Okay.
I record it, then I can bring it into the studio. And then, okay, what happens in the studio usually,
Mm.
um, if it's more structured, it comes from the guitarist or whoever who comes in and we just start jamming. Usually it's just jamming like, it's just a free flow.
Okay.
It's
Mm.
just a free flow. And then I wail for a while, and then sometimes like it starts to sound like something is getting there, and
Okay.
then it's either I flip through my diary or my book where
Mm.
I have lines that actually sounds like it fits the emotion of the song, and then I craft the story from there, or or it's very rare that I come in with a full song. Even if
Mm.
it's full, I don't like it to be set in stone because I know it can get better. Yeah.
Right, right. So your creative process is basically like you see words or you hear melody, and then you just put it on paper, and then you guys will like do jamming in the studio, and then after that it becomes a song.
Yeah. The melody comes first and
Okay.
then it sounds like a story. And then okay, so it's either I use the words from my page
Okay.
or I just start singing the words
Mm.
on the spot.
Right, right.
I just start
So
singing words on the spot and then some of them stick and then some of them don't for into the final song.
mm, but usually in the band, right? Who actually initiate the melody first, or I mean, who initiate the song? Is it the vocalist, or is it the the band itself, or the drummer, or the guitarist?
I would say I think every band functions differently, but I
Mm.
would say for my band songwriting process, I felt like the conductor. Um,
Okay.
because it's everybody's effort, but the when the song starts to have more structure and all that, I think it's important for the vocalist
Mm.
in my band like at least to to set the structure for everything. Like, okay, this is where the mood changes, or this is
Mm.
where we go into the chorus. And I find like the very standard structure of like verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, or whatever. And after a certain point, it got very boring. So if you look at our later songs, it actually started to break out of that a bit. Yeah.
Right,
Like it'll
right.
be like verse,
Oh,
chorus, and very long verse with a bridge, and suddenly it ends or something like that.
is it intentional or something?
I don't know if it's intentional. Maybe it's like boredom of like the standard, But at the same time, I think as you write more and more, you realize that the mood is more important than sticking to a formula, and then you
Right.
just go with the feeling.
Mm. Okay, okay. Right. So, now that we know your creative process, right? So, how long does it take to write a song?
Sometimes like 5 minutes,
Oh,
sometimes
okay.
over multiple jamming sessions.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
I said I feel like it doesn't come from you. It just comes from the air, from whatever the universe wants to send to you at the moment, and also I think what you're feeling at the moment. Like
Right.
if the feeling is very strong, sometimes you can write that song just like that. It just comes
Mm.
out. But sometimes when you're trying something or you want to experiment or whatever, then it will take like multiple jamming sessions to finally go like, okay, I think this is the final product.
But usually, I mean, like, usually, how long does it take? Maybe, like, for example, if you want to, like, create a single or something like that, how long do you need to take? I mean, how long do you take usually to write a song?
Know what I said? I don't think that's an accurate.
There's no like structure kind of thing lah.
Uh, there is a structure in
Mm,
that the structure is always say yes to ideas, and
okay.
then when you say yes to all the ideas, then you start to structure it. So it depends on
Mm,
how long that process takes. Like it's like writing an essay. Maybe that. Oh
okay.
my god, now I'm thinking about essay writing. Maybe the word count is like 1,000 words, but you write 5,000 words first, and then you structure it.
Compress it. So every time you do a song, you have I mean basically you will like revamp it lah, revamp until you are satisfied
Yeah,
with.
and even that final product, whatever, like say you hear on an album or whatever,
Mm,
even that might not be the final form of the song. Like if you actually continue on with your band and then you
right.
jam over and over again, that's why you see live shows, sometimes the song sounds totally different from what's on the
Yeah.
record, probably because they're like, okay, actually we didn't like the record version, we found a better way to play this song. So how long does it take to write a song? I think it's like there's really no number.
Okay. So it really depends on the synergy of the whole band. Like if you are in a band lah, am I right to say?
Yeah.
Right. But if you are
Mm.
solo, do you have like any idea? Does it also the same? I mean, like within 5 minutes, or sometimes it can take the longest time, depending whether you have creative block or not.
If you're asking me personally, when
Yeah.
I write on my own, actually it's the same lah. It's the
Okay.
same. Yeah. It's like I either write it in 5 minutes or I'll take a few days. But usually the ones that I take a long time, if I'm writing on my own, I feel like I'm overthinking it. And what happens is that usually it becomes half finished and then I just like
To
put it
just
aside.
chuck it aside. Hmm. Okay. All right. So, how do you like? What is something that you do every day? When you want to like, is what do you do something every day that is essential to grow your music or even songwriting? I mean, do you like read, or do you like listen to music every day or something like that?
Something that I do or something that I ideally should do.
Something that you do.
What I do right now, because I said my band just released our digital album in 2019, and it was essentially, to me, it felt like a closing chapter. Like I wasn't even sure if I was gonna write songs anymore. So for a long time, I've been sticking to covers.
Mm.
I wrote one song in the past 6 years. That's how dry spell it has been. Uh, I think. in recent times, I've been tapping more into this part of myself, the songwriting part of myself.
Mm.
What you need to grow, I feel, is really, yeah, like you said, like listen to a lot of music, and um, beyond that, also just I think for me, it has been to get over my feelings of inadequacy. Like sometimes I feel like I need to be good in order to write a song. And then because I feel I have not practiced for so long that I'm not good, and then I don't do anything. So it's yeah, like so recently what I've been doing, right, to get over this sense of like needing to be perfect before I can pick up and write a song again. Whatever mistakes that I make on the guitar, like even if I do covers or I like play a wrong chord or whatever, I just record it and I just put it out. And just like it's look guys, I made mistake. You know, like just to stop thinking in that manner.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think
Uh
I think it's applicable to any industry as well. I mean, I mean self doubt is definitely something that has always been in us for the longest time ever since we know how to have that kind of feeling like we think that we are not good enough, but actually we are overthinking and we should just do it, and then you get better from there,
yeah. Like
right?
you just own your mistakes and you just go hee hee, I don't care. I know I'm not perfect. You know? And I also feel like maybe it's the Asian society. I feel like
Mm,
we Asian or Singaporean, I don't know, but we are very scared of making mistakes. So it's
right.
very hard to get yourself over that feeling.
Do you think
Yeah,
because we are conditioned so?
I think so.
Like,
I don't know from where it comes from. It's definitely cultural. It's like that feeling you get, like you don't want to raise your hand in class because you don't want to give a stupid answer.
it's like something when sometimes when you are in a webinar or something, you had a question, but you don't want to answer that, thinking that it might be a stupid question,
Yeah.
right?
Or, or a stupid answer, lah. Then you actually realize that your answer was correct in the first place. Then, or even if it's wrong, like so what?
Yeah, because
I think
you
it's
never
why,
you never know that actually someone else have that same question, right?
yeah, or
Or
might have given the same answer as you.
exactly.
No, and then it's a learning experience for everybody.
Mm.
Yeah.
So guys, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Do it. If you think that you want to do something, go ahead and do it. I think I feel that self doubting and thinking that you are thinking that you are not good enough is something that you need to overcome. That like I wouldn't say it's easy to overcome, but it takes practice also. Like you need to like for example, like for myself, I have like clients, or I have like business owners coming to me that they say that they're afraid of being in front of the camera. Like
Mm.
like sometimes talking to someone is easier when compared to talking to a camera, because it's a camera, right? Nobody
Yeah.
likes to talk in the lens.
Yeah.
So so it's
Like just now
something
when you
where
press the like button, I was like, ooh, for a while.
so it's something that I've been advocating, that you should just like press record and like just say whatever you want to say, even though the topic is something that it is made up, just for you to get comfortable. Because I really feel for those people who are not comfortable. I was not comfortable in front of the camera, even though I'm a videographer, because I'm always behind the camera. So
Mm.
being in front is definitely a totally different experience. So yeah, I mean, self-doubting, overthinking, is something that you need to overcome if you want to do something, and I feel that you should go for it.
Yeah. And I feel also
And
self-compassion, because sometimes you might not get that kind of mercy from external sources. Like, honestly, sometimes when you say the wrong thing, your boss or something will be like, what the hell are you saying? But somehow inside your heart, you have to be like, it's okay, Danya. It was your first time doing it. You did a good job. It's okay,
yeah,
you'll get better. It's that voice that you have to train inside yourself.
Yeah. I think we need to love ourselves first, yeah, people. Must love ourselves before, like we don't have to like get other people or outside to love you. You have to love yourself, and like pat your back. If you do a good job, pat your back yourself, like, hey, good job, really. Hey, good job, Daya.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yes. All right. I got one more question for you.
Yeah, I mean, okay, just to add on also, because honestly, I
Yes.
think our society doesn't give you a lot of room to make mistakes.
So what do you
So
suggest? I mean, like, what personally, what do you actually suggest?
I say like you have to allow yourself to make mistakes. Like people want to see the finished product. They don't want to see you in your growing. You know what I mean? Like you know that if you made enough mistakes, in 10 years you'll be good because you kept at it. But
Yeah.
that person wants you 10 years from now. Dude, that's not gonna happen. So you have to give it to yourself, I feel.
Mm.
Yeah lah.
Mm. Yes, yes, yes. Suddenly become motivational session. Eh? Okay. Okay, so my next question. What is something that you know now you wish you knew when you first starting out as a musician or even as a songwriter?
Hmm. Okay, wait. I wish I had known that it's important firstly to play for yourself.
Mm. Okay.
I mean that's why you do music in the first place. Because it was something you were born with, it was something in your heart and your soul that drew you to making music. And sometimes I feel like along the way you get caught up with what other people want from you.
Mm.
Or like you feel jaded because the industry here, there's nothing that I can do with playing music, and then you chuck it aside. You throw that guitar in the storeroom and you don't touch it again. But I feel like when you do that, you're actually killing a part of your own soul. Like that the reason why you picked it up in the first place was not for any of those reasons.
Right.
It's
Mm.
just like for yourself lah. Yeah. So
But what do
that's
you
what.
do? What do you do if you feel jaded? I mean, like I mean, you've been doing music, you're doing songwriting. When you feel jaded, right? When you feel like, okay, I don't think I want to do this anymore, or something like that. What do you do to overcome that?
Mm,
How do you make sure that you are not jaded, like in music or in songwriting?
I don't. I think that's a matter of reframing what you wanted out of picking up a guitar or whatever in the first place. Like you didn't do it because you wanted to be a star and go on tour. Okay, maybe like later on, somewhere along the way, you got it into your head you wanted to be a rock star. But but the initial part, at least for me lah, it was really a way for you to express yourself.
Mm.
Um, And if you're not going to express yourself through this way, it's going to come out some other way, you know? Maybe, I mean, and fair enough, like, if you take up a different way of taking it out, like maybe you start rock climbing, or I did start rock climbing, so I did rock climbing, or like some other sport, or like taking up meditation, fair enough. But if you are putting it aside because you feel like there's no future or whatever, and you feel all this frustration, I don't see how that's healthy for you either. Because a lot
Mm.
of like most of the musicians that I know, I feel like we whether or not you be famous or like become a full-time musician or professional, it's something that you're born with. Like it's just part of yourself. So if you stop doing it, I usually feel very sad. Like I feel like you're cutting off a part of yourself to
Right,
to
right.
to fit in with what you think you should be.
Mm.
Mm.
I think I also heard a lot about what you said. Like the music scene is not blooming in here. I mean, at
Mm.
least here in Singapore. So what have you got to say about that when people tell you, okay, I don't want to
You
play
have 10
music
hours.
anymore because Singapore cannot make it. That kind.
You have 10 hours for me to talk about this.
Oh my god.
Okay, I feel, first of all, Singapore is in a very unique position in that we are an Asian country, but we don't have our own unique language because at the same time, we are an immigrant country. So if you look at other Asian countries that have flourished in the music scene, like Indonesia, like Korea, like Japan, they sing in their native language. In
Right.
that language, you know, and that's the market. Whereas in Singapore, we've all, you know, first language is now English. So you want a bunch of Asians who sing in English and write original songs. Like, what's the market for that? You know.
Mm.
And also the other thing is, and I wrote an entire psychology thesis paper on it, by the way. So that's why I said you have 10 hours. Like, another closing chapter. Yeah, for my psychology bachelor's, my thesis was on the experience of music gigs in Singapore, but really it was to examine Singaporeans, um, you know, how they view local songwriters versus international acts.
Mm.
And by far and large, you know, I mean, sad to say lah, Singaporeans don't support homegrown songwriters. Like, you'd rather spend $100 on a T-shirt by Coldplay, but then you won't even fork out $5 to like buy a record, like a CD that's like kiplak from a local band. And the other thing is that I felt like when we were playing also at gigs, it's a subculture.
Mm.
Subculture that doesn't necessarily grow, you know, and people in that subculture will know who the fantastic bands are, and they're not necessarily the ones that get to play for National Day or whatever, but the people outside of that group don't know who they are, and because they don't know who they are, because they don't go for the gigs, they just assume that there's no
Yeah.
talent, but there's
Yeah.
so much talent.
Mm.
So I
Actually,
don't know
very
how to
true.
fix that. Okay, wait, no, I know how to fix that. How to fix
Come on.
that is to, okay, I shouldn't, okay, I should chill. Playing local music alongside international music. If you have, for example, I know Singaporean radio was trying something when they started this indie music station. But what are you
Mm.
trying to say when when local music needs their own station on their own, and then all these like other international artists get their own
Yeah, in there.
platform? What are you
Mm.
trying to say, that they are of a different standard? They are of a different quality? You know, so
Mm.
if you want to change that stereotype, you have to put local talent on par, and then people
Mm.
can listen for themselves.
Right, right. So, okay, if I were to like go back to the glorious days where gigs happen in Singapore and stuff like that. I mean, like we we have like really really good local bands that really make really good music. I mean, I was in that scene previously lah. You know, like enjoying music and stuff, like going for gigs and bands and all that. But right now, right? How do these like bands like showcase? Is it through digital only, or I mean, do you guys have gigs now still?
You're asking me, I'm completely out of the circuit. So like, I remember Facebook from those days, and I do see them play, but very, very rarely.
Very
You know,
right, yeah.
very rare, and it's usually out of some friend's studio or something.
Right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like right now the platform for gigs, there's I mean, I only see like a few lah. Like it's just like a seasonal kind of thing. It's not like last time, like when many years back when I was in, I think when I was in secondary school or poly, we have
Mm.
like almost every other week where we
Yeah.
have gigs, like at substation we have gigs to enjoy music from local bands, and they
Yeah.
are basically they are writing their own songs, enjoying all those music with them at that particular event. But right now I feel that it's really something about like they only have when there's occasion, when there's event, then they will like have that particular event. If not, then they don't have it.
I don't
right?
know if it has anything to do with changes to the entertainment licensing now.
Mm.
That makes it
Oh,
harder for indie organizers to hold gigs. I mean, as far as I knew, even back then they were making losses lah. They were not doing it for profit because
yeah.
it was out of passion.
Yep.
But now I think perhaps it's even more difficult, whether
Right.
it's in
Right.
terms of the rental fee or even securing the license. I mean, even recently, like, didn't Blue Jazz lose their entertainment license for a while because they were getting too good in terms of
Oh,
like, yeah,
really?
like because the audience was spilling out too much out into their cordon space or whatever, and people were not happy, so they lost the license for a while.
Oh my. Oh gosh. Okay, we have a question actually from the audience. The audience, eh?
Hello.
All right. Hi, Satila. Okay, she's asking as
Hello.
a songwriter from where you get inspiration, whether from personal experience or anywhere else.
Oh yeah. So earlier I was saying that I'm quite an emo person. Uh, but at the same time, I don't rant very much on social media to take it out, so it has to come out in songwriting. Uh, so and I don't necessarily talk about my problems a lot to people. I think that's the other thing about me. Like, so it has to come out somewhere. It comes out in songwriting. So personal experiences, yes. And I think increasingly towards the end of like the band also we were starting to like write about like politics a little bit. It was all metaphorical, but that's also a personal experience, you know. Politics, I mean, affects the individual, right?
Yep. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So other than like being emo, do you like get any other inspiration from outside, like books or I don't know? Like, do you get inspiration from anywhere else?
Uh, I think the human experience is a wealth of experience. And yeah, I mean it can come from books. It can come from the people you see around you. It can come from, you know, what you saw someone go through. Oh,
Mm.
yeah, that reminds me. One of our songs actually, I wrote the lyrics and the melody. It was inspired from a child that I saw at a gig. That
Oh
song is
wow.
called Scene Kid. So
S
uh,
S E E N. Sin kid.
SCENE.
Oh, okay. Sin kid. Okay, right. Mm.
Because it was it was at an underground gig. It was a bar back when, you know, I'm not so halal. Uh, it was at a bar, and yeah, and there was like a little girl there, and I think her parents were like either the musicians or working in that place, and it was like full of cigarette smoke and all that. And I was just thinking like, this makes me feel something. I need to write
Oh
about this.
my. How young is that kid? Like how small?
I think like probably like preschool
Oh, okay.
or like or lower primary.
All right.
Yeah.
So like basically like that the kid is being exposed to like gigs and all since young.
I think the gig is fine. It was just like the environment.
Ah, okay.
If it was like
Understood.
if it was like at the park or what, it would be a different
Fort Canning, all right, it's okay. Okay, so maybe you can just share with us what's next for you. I mean, do you have anything coming up? I know that you did a digital you did a digital songs with your band. It's a reunion thingy, right?
Okay, so we wrote songs for 12 years. So in that 12 years we wrote plenty of songs, and even some songs didn't end up on the album. So the digital album is basically like the best of, I suppose, like
Mm.
whatever song that we wrote, and whether it was in our album or whether it was in a, suddenly I can't remember what it's called, so horrible, like a mixtape
Mm.
or a single that we released that just like one off or whatever. um I just like got it remixed and remastered, um and I actually sent it for mastering in Nashville, because with the internet now you can do that. So yeah, I really like this particular studio's mastering skills. So it was, like I said, it felt more like a closing chapter. Like
Mm.
after 12 years, I felt like we needed something to be put up lah. Because
Mm.
obviously we kind of stopped before like all the Spotify and iTunes and all that came out. So
Yeah.
it was as if we never existed. So I just thought like, no, we have to put something there. It was like 12 years of our lives.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So where can they find this on Spotify? What's your name on Spotify for this music? I mean, for
It's under
your
the band
songs.
name. It's under the
Sorry,
band name. My Rights.
my
MY
rights.
space WRITES.
You have like a my rights band there or something, or just my rights?
I think it's just My Rights.
Okay, you just show. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you
The
wanna
album is called oh sorry. The album is called The Way Back 12 Years of My Rights.
okay, but they can just search for my rights, right?
Yeah.
This is how you
I think
spell
there's
it.
a I think there might be a hip hop band from the US or
Oh.
something that has the same name as us. But if you want to find us, we are the one with the blue cover with a Javanese rabbit in front.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Can
Yeah, yeah,
Javanese rabbit.
yeah, Javanese rabbit. Can you see? Like that.
Okay, okay, okay. Right. Okay. Yes. So look for that rabbit when you search for my rights and listen to Dhania's and her band music for 12 years of the glorious time.
Oh my god! Feels like
Okay,
my
well,
glory days are over. Okay, lah.
no lah. But what else is coming up? You were saying that you are doing your masters now.
Yeah, I'm doing my master's
Mm.
in counseling psychology. I do hope that in the future, like as a therapist, I involve some form of art in that, because as I was saying, that some people don't express as well through speaking,
Yeah.
and the arts is really, for me as well, a good way to express yourself. I'll be going to Vancouver in 2 weeks' time, which is part of why I'm
Wow.
so like bogged down with like all the logistics.
Mm.
I hope that when I see the mountains and stuff, I get inspired to like hold myself up and write songs again.
Do you have any plans of going solo? I understand that you mentioned you prefer to be in like a band because it's like family. Do
Yeah,
you have like any plans to go solo with your songs, writing your songs and singing it?
I don't think it's something that I would plan, but
Mm.
if that happens, yeah, whatever, man. I just roll with it. I think whether I go solo or whether I play with a band, I think it's important for me to collaborate with other musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah, like whether it's a producer
Mm.
or guitarist or musician.
Right. So how long will you be in Vancouver for this masters?
The course itself is 2 years full time. I might go part
Mm.
time because I would need a job.
Okay.
Um, it could be
Is it the
anywhere.
same? I mean, like, is it the same if it's like part time? Is it still 2 years?
No, it'll be
Or it's
longer.
mm.
Yeah. So anywhere between 5 years and forever. I have no idea what's gonna happen.
All right. So if you guys actually want to listen to some of Dhania's covers, she does really really nice covers on her Instagram. So follow her Instagram. I've seen it and really really nice. She really got nice voice. Okay, so I really enjoy.
I
So
don't
follow her.
do like sorry, I don't do like very nice videos. If you
No,
look at
it's okay. It's okay with it's okay for not having a nice video. I feel that it's more of like the because it's music, right? It's more of like the music has to come from you, and then we like when we listen, we get to feel it. Yeah. So that's just something I like about music. You can like somehow when you sometimes when you actually listen to the lyrics, right, and then you read the lyrics, it's like, oh, okay, it's not like different thing, because it
Mhm.
depends on your situation at that point of time or your feelings at that point of time. But actually it's probably it can be like a slow song, but it's actually a happy lyrics, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
And it can be the opposite as well. It can sound
Exactly.
like a happy song, but it has really sad lyrics.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, follow Dhaniah on her Instagram at DHANIAH. And thank you so much, guys, for coming on board with us on Women to Watch series. And this is the last episode, and I hope I can bring more guests on the media industry, especially women, because I feel that women we need to bring these women across, and then to like tell the story of their journey, like people, some people don't know that Dhaniah has been in the music industry like since 17 years ago. you know yeah.
17 years old. I don't know
17
how
years
long.
ago.
Was it 17 years ago?
Was it 17 years ago?
17 years old.
17 years old, see, 17 years old, and I'm still in secondary school, yes. Yeah, 17 years old, I'm secondary school. Yeah, correct. So yes, thank you so much, guys, for being here, and I hope to see you again. Bye.